what could be the reason that you're not connecting sexually anymore? There's a litany of reasons. And so one of the major contributing factors when it comes to not having intimacy, variety, or not having that sexual connection that you're looking at is a lack of trust.
If I don't feel safe because you've hurt me so badly, I'm not going to give you the best parts of me. I might let you use me to fulfill what you need to get off. That's not uncommon. You'll hear women joke about just laying there and taking it. It's not uncommon at all. We can do certain things and still not connect.
Mm-hmm.
And just make a service out of it. Look, I'm doing what you need me to do. Here, go have your day. Go get your morning coffee and go run your errands and do what you need to do. I did what I was supposed to do today. That's my good deed for the day. That's the crappy part about it. And really what's underlying that is you've hurt me. I don't trust you. So I'm not going to give you the best parts of me. I'm so in my head and my emotions because of how you hurt me that I am holding my heart and everything captive. I have to keep my head completely enwrapped in other things while you do what you're doing because I can't let that wall down at all.
I promised you, or at least I told you I was going to give you some things, some tools to help you, to get you on the right path. I think many of them we have said during this process because the episode took some different avenues. But ultimately, I'm like, thank God that, thank God we had these talks and we did go through this.
There's a lot more involved in your sex life than just sex.
That's right. Number one, the most important thing you can do, the most important thing is to get on the path or get in a place where you can understand the root cause of the issue. Welcome back to another episode of Man vs. Marriage. It is I, your humble servant, Quincy Moran, a.k.a. The Q-Dog, in the Moran family studio with my lovely wife, Jeanne Moran. Jeanne, what's up? What's going on?
Not much. What's going on?
Oh, we're just here getting ready to do a great episode. Oh, this is excellent. Alarms are going off, but we're going to stick with it because that's what we do. We get ready. It reminds me of a saying. That's what we do. Looking for things to do. Somebody listens to this, they will know. So today, we are here to talk about why your wife is controlling your sex life. I think it's very important that we cover these topics. And so as we get into it, I hope that you're in a place where you can make some mental notes. And if you can't make mental notes, then I hope you can actually, come back and listen to the program together. And remember, we're here for you. It's Quincy at Manvsmarriagepodcast.com. So let's get right into this particular episode. And I'm going to ask Jeanne some questions, and we're going to talk about it. And then we're going to give you some true-to-life scenarios and examples of how we have gotten through this situation, if you will. Maybe not exactly, but pretty close. Yeah, autism is alive. It is well. You're either going to hear a gorilla stomping above us, or you're going to hear my son behind us.
Extremely excited.
You will probably not be distracted, but we will, and we're going to do our best to manage it. So here's the thing. What you need, and I've got some things written down, so forgive me, but what you need in your marriage, what is important in your marriage, what is vital to the health of your marriage is not just the act of having sex. True or false?
True.
Absolutely true. We both agree, 10 out of 10. There's more to it than just penetrating your spouse and having an orgasm. What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
I didn't make you blush, did I?
No.
Okay. But there's more to it. We're all adults here.
I know. You're fine.
There's more to it than that. And the reason that we know that is because, after a certain amount of time in our relationship, we were going through the act. Obviously, we have all these children. We have 8 kids. So, in 5 pregnancies. So, we were doing something right. But there's more than just having sex. What is it?
Nothing.
Okay.
I'm good. There's just you're saying things and my writer brain is going a different direction, so I'm trying to keep it schooled. Sorry.
Okay. So, what we want to show you today is that there is actually a place where you can get in your relationship where you connect on an emotional and spiritual level, and it has to do with your sex life and the intimacy therein. And look, right now, candidly, Jeannie and we're struggling there, and we're not struggling because we don't like each other. We're struggling because of our schedule.
Yeah, the time to spend. It's not necessarily the time to spend. It's not having the time to do the things that we want to do. So it's a little different. It's not necessarily that we're not having enough sex. We're not having enough of the sex that we want to have.
That's
with
correct.
the intimacy and, not having a time limit, not having to worry about other people in the house, not having to worry about, holding yourself back and things like that.
Not worrying about is my spouse so tired that we're not going to be able to perform. Think about this. Have y'all ever played the game Frogger? I'm not saying that because Kirsten is jumping on the floor.
I'm just making sure the ceiling's not falling anywhere.
If it does, we'll catch it on camera and maybe we'll get enough to fix it. Anyway, have you ever seen the game Frogger?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the frog is jumping across the street, doing its best to avoid traffic so that it doesn't get squashed.
Mm-hmm.
And that is us right now. That's us in our sex life, because we have adult children that live at home. We have autism that's present at home. I have a full-time career. Jeannie has a full-time career as a mother. And while our children are adults, two of our adult children are disabled, and they require a significant amount of attention. And then if you couple that with her trying to write, not trying, she is a professional writer. She has 5 novels out. And so we are constantly playing Frogger with life, because if we go to get busy at a certain time, we're completely limited because our adult children come home after 10 p.m.
See, this is the catch-22. It's not necessarily just because they're coming home. We're in that phase of life where they're not going to be coming home as often soon. And so when they come home late, the tradition when you're home especially is to come in and get their hugs, get their kisses, tell you a little bit about their day. With him working on the road, they see the same thing we see. They want that little bit of time that we have.
That's right.
It's necessity to them to get all that they can. So it's more about making sure that we're also meeting that need for them, because it's a limited space.
It's limited runway. You know what I'm saying? You'll hear me say that more and more. The more and more you listen to this program, probably in the last 3 years, you're going to hear me talk about limited runway, because eventually they're going to move out. They're going to have their own independent life. They're not going to be coming here. It is already so much different in our house.
Yeah.
And I've really been trying to prepare us as a family for about 5 years, I would say, in our family talks, and saying, hey, we're getting close to the last one of X, Y, Z. From here on out, things are going to be different, and different is okay. Even though it hurts, it's okay, because we didn't have all you kids to keep you forever. So what happens is we definitely want to spend the time, and I've changed my schedule, and my schedule now is I go to the gym between 8:30 and 9 p.m. So I can get home, I can spend time, we can have family dinner, I can spend some time with Hunter, maybe get him his shower handled, we can play video games, and he can get into his nightly routine. I can leave to go to the gym, Jeannie can write and get prepared, and then we come home. And so it gets to the point where, yes, we'd love you. Come in and see us. Let's keep this tradition going that we've built, because we want to hear about your day. We want you to come and talk to us. We love it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we love it, and we enjoy it. The later you get to midnight or past midnight, your ability to perform sexually, I mean, we're close to 50. So it starts to diminish.
It's not just that. I mean, if you really look at how much solid sleep we get, I maybe max out at 2.5, 3 hours a night of solid sleep, and then the rest is broken up over several hours on top of, our day can start anywhere from 5 in the morning to 7 in the morning. It just depends on what's on our plate. So if you're staying up till 12:30 to say goodnight to somebody, and then you're gonna stay up another half hour to an hour doing what we're doing, by the time we actually get sleep, okay, we're lucky we can go 2 days in a row because we've only had maybe 3 hours sleep, and then we turn around and we went a full day again. So it's not just a performance thing, it's just we're exhausted.
That is
Oh,
exactly a performance thing, honey.
well.
If you're exhausted, then your body doesn't perform the way that it would normally perform. And then it makes it difficult for you to get to a certain place. Well, I've already said it on the program. It makes it difficult for you not to be inside of your own head
Yeah,
trying
that's
to move, just trying your best to perform, and then you don't get to orgasm. And look, we we have lots of those. All.
well, it's hard for me now because it's like I'm so time oriented with what we've got going on that it's like we can, but can we do it in like 15, 20 minutes? And then that frustrates you because we don't want to be enjoying each other and being on a time crunch and being like, "Okay, dude, you got like 3 minutes. We got to hurry this up." It's because the connection's not there. It's just a quick in and out process, and that's not really what we're going for. So it's for us. It's been more of a we're making plans to go away and spend more time and have more availability to each other.
More quality rather than quantity. Although we agree on how much quantity we want if we can.
Mhm.
But the other part of this, and this is a small rabbit trail, the other part of that is when you get into such a habit of things needing to be done and done quickly, then you go to the hotel and you have some time and you're already in this habit. Like your muscle memory is to get it and get it done quickly. And so it's as much of a mental or mind game as it is a physical game.
Yeah, we usually take the first night to just get out of our own head, leave the kids behind, stop worrying about the house. Like that first night is we might still have sex, but usually that first night is just let's just go have a good dinner, let's relax, let's take a load off, let's watch something funny, like just to kind of get our mind and our body in the same space for a little while so that we're not because it's really hard when we leave. It's always hard for me because I'm constantly like, okay, this person is here, this person is here. They text me when they go places or when they come back. It's just it's part of our routine. So it's kind of that first night is just we've got to let the kids go for a day. And that's not the easiest thing to do, and it's also making sure that there's, no issues with Hunter and Kiki, and because generally the first night, if something's gonna happen with them or if they're gonna have a meltdown, it's usually the first night or the night we're coming home.
Yeah, and that's an upgrade for me that when we leave, I can tell all the girls, maybe you can get out of your head and just not worry about it and know that I'm going to take care of logistics and if there's any problems, because I can deal with that much differently than you can. If you can just kind of let that part of it go, I can have them come to me. Just thinking about that
Yeah,
here. Now, the last time we were gone for like a little staycation night, you know, I thought it was great. We put on some
comedy stuff.
comedians, and we both got a great
Some
rub.
that we didn't know that somebody referred us to, and we're like, "Wow,
Uh,
that wasn't what we were
yeah,
expecting."
one of my daughters referred me. Anyway, let's get this show on the road, okay?
Mm,
Um, I think that was very beneficial for us to talk about. Hey, maybe you yourself, maybe you're out there and you're having challenges in your sex life. When we were in California, we had an opportunity to go to Las Vegas or to other places on a more consistent schedule, but we're just in a different part of life right now. We're going to maneuver it. We're going to continue working on it so we can bring that to the program. Now, here's the thing. Jeannie and I have had our share of struggles with our sex life. And it had nothing to do with us wanting more and wanting more connection. It had to do with our limiting beliefs about what sex is, because I want to be wanted. Jeannie wants to be needed. And then she kind of grew up in the mindset that sex is a service. And so when I'm asking for things, it kind of devalues my request and the desire to put those things together. So we have an entire series called Sexpectations. We're going to redo that, but I encourage you. I encourage you to go check that out because we have made such great strides in our sex life. I mean, truly made strides.
Yeah.
If you don't agree, please just be
No, I do agree. I mean, if you backtrack to where we started from, that we've made it. This is way different than what it used to be.
correct. Now, what could be the reason that you're not connecting sexually anymore? There's a litany of reasons. And so one of the major contributing factors when it comes to not having intimacy, variety, or not having that sexual connection that you're looking at is a lack of trust.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the most difficult pieces of the relationship, just relative to connecting. If you do not trust your spouse or your spouse does not trust you.
They're okay. I agree with you, but I also think, and this was actually kind of what Rita taught us in the beginning was if you're not meeting my needs on the emotional side, why am I going to meet you on a physical side? So not that I wouldn't give you intimacy or I wouldn't give you sex, but it wouldn't be connected. It would just be out of service because okay, you have a need for sex. I can do that. That's fine. But I'm not emotionally connecting. I'm not emotionally invested. Why? Because you haven't emotionally invested in me. You haven't done anything for me that tells me that I'm of any kind of value, that I'm wanted, that I'm need. None of that. It's I've been devalued to just making sure that you get laid.
Mhm.
So it's not just yes, it's a trust factor, but there is also a it's going to sound really bad, but it's a tit for tat. If you're not pouring into your spouse, what makes you think you can make a withdrawal?
No, I agree. And, I'm not trying to twist the words here, but if you don't trust that you're going to get your money's worth, you're
Exactly.
not going to put the money out. And
True.
so,
And I'm not going to be vulnerable with you if I don't feel like I'm safe in a situation.
and also, I said one of the most important
True.
ways. So I agree with you that if you guys are not feeding or meeting each other's needs, that is another barrier. So we could say there's a trust factor, and there's also a
There's
what
a hurt.
okay, so there could be, I'm just going to write
There's a hurt
trust,
somewhere because
hurt,
you don't lose trust,
and then there's an unmet
expectation.
expectation. Yeah.
So, okay, I'm going to be very cautious with this because there are some who like to take our terms and twist them and use them to make sense
It's
in an
called
argue.
weaponizing. It's called weaponizing communication.
Okay.
That's the problem. Go ahead.
So, I'm going to try and be as blunt yet cautious as I can.
Be
If
be blunt all the way.
if you've hurt me and I know the most important thing that you get out of me is your physical connection, I'm going to give you just enough that you're going to get your need met, but it's not going to be fulfilled. So your need might be to have the physical touch and to have the like orgasm or to have that physical what's the word I'm looking for? Because it's not a connection. If you're not meeting my need on the surface, even a little bit, if you're not putting in the effort to meet me where I need you, I'm going to give you the absolute bare minimum, if anything at all.
Yeah, it's the difference between an act of something and having access to your spouse.
Mhm.
And that is an intimacy. That's an intimacy um, piece to your relationship. It's not a piece. It's an intimacy. It's a point of intimacy within your intimate life.
But now if you've hurt me
Mm-hmm.
and it's a deep-rooted hurt, I don't feel safe with you. I don't feel like I can give you the most vulnerable part of me, which let's be real, when you're naked, you're as vulnerable as you can get.
That's right.
When you're with your spouse and you're intimate with each other sexually, there's nothing more vulnerable about that. And Quincy and I joke about it because we can actually have a heart-to-heart conversation completely naked. And we're okay with that. Why? Because you can't hide anything.
Mm-hmm.
You're as open and as vulnerable as you could possibly be. So you're not going to hide any reactions because your body is open to me and I can see it and you can see me. We've had comedy. We've had things that happen and it's just It breaks the sexual moment, but it's still an intimate moment because we're laughing together, we're enjoying each other. It's a memory that nobody else gets, obviously,
Mhm.
but it's a safe place. I can laugh and joke in those moments and not feel like, "Oh my god, he's gonna bring this up later and hold it against me because it wasn't, like, romantic and it wasn't this." You know what I mean? It's I can be an idiot and it's okay because you know me to my core,
Yeah, and
and I'm safe showing that to you.
I agree I agree with you, um, in the premise of what you're saying. Um, I do believe that people can sit naked and talk and still hide things, but that's a place that you come in your relationship, like, you come to and you connect to and you are willing to
Well, the idea I understand what you mean by hiding things, but what I'm saying is I'm by sitting there like that, I'm not trying to hide.
copy that.
I'm not intentionally trying to keep something from you. I can sit there comfortably in my own skin and not worry about you saying anything about my appearance or my look, and not taking shots at me, so to speak.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's if I don't feel safe because you've hurt me so badly, I'm not going to give you I'm not going to give you the best parts of me. I might let you use me to fulfill what you need to get off. That's not uncommon. You'll hear women joke about just laying there and taking it. It's not uncommon at all, but it's not intimacy.
No, and that yeah, that's kind of a gross.
I mean, there are some people in the industry that I work with, there are people and it's written in books, it's in movies, it's reality. There are guys that won't have sex face to face with a woman because you're not somebody that I want to connect with. I don't want to see your eyes. I just want to get in, get out and be done. It's a service. It's the same for a woman. We can do certain things and still not connect
Mhm.
and just make a service out of it. Look, I'm doing what you need me to do. Here, go have your day. Go get your morning coffee and go run your errands and do what you need to do. I did what I was supposed to do today. That's my good deed for the day. That's the crappy part about it. And really what's underlying that is you've hurt me. I don't trust you. So I'm not going to give you the best parts of me. I'm so in my head and my emotions because of how you hurt me that I am holding my heart and everything captive. I have to keep my head completely enwrapped in other things while you do what you're doing because I can't let that wall down at all. I can't. Because if I do, the moment I do, you've just gained access to hurt me again.
Yeah.
That's the reality of what a lot of people do. When in the earlier parts of our marriage, when we were struggling and we were having a hard time and we couldn't communicate, I could check out. We could be doing our thing and I could totally check out and be thinking about a grocery list. I could be thinking about what needs to be done tomorrow. I could be thinking about, and this is the honest to God truth. This is not intentional because it still happens. I can hear the kid upstairs. Now it's different because we both catch that that's where my mind goes. But back then, you never would have noticed it.
Oh, I noticed, and it happens to me too.
It's just one of those things where at the time I was just looking to make sure you got what you needed.
Yeah.
I wasn't a willing participant in all aspects. I was just a willing vessel. And that I think is where a lot of people that we've been dealing with are sitting right now because they just have so much hurt and so much anger and so much frustration and mistrust or no trust at all
Yeah.
that that's where they're at. It's like I'm just a vessel, dude. I don't have anything to pour into this at all. If I get off, I'm lucky. And I really don't care either way. And that the sad truth is for women, if we really want to, we can shut that part off.
Ye Well, the hardest thing that you said for me to hear, and I believe it's a deal. It's obviously a real deal because 'cause we're working with some folks, or we have in the past as well, is that I'll just let you use me for what you need and then basically go on about your business.
Mhm.
That I am so thankful we're not there. Like
No.
like you said, in the beginning of our relationship, there were so many there were so many factors that came along, and we just didn't know this stuff. But now, what we have now, even with the challenges that we face, it would be it would be soul crushing for me to know that that was your mentality, that I just use me to get what you need done, and then go about your way.
Okay, well let's do this. We've dealt with a couple of Jills. I've dealt with a couple of Jills. Let me ask you, if you were Jill and I was Jack and I told you more than once that if you wanted to leave me, I'd be okay with it. Because we're not getting along, we've got all these issues. If you ever decided that you wanted to go, I understand. Or if I told you, you know what, I think I'm gonna file for divorce. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna file for divorce because we can't seem to get along. Things aren't getting any better. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'll let you know when I make up my mind. But then I come back and I still expect an intimate connection for us to have sex on a regular basis. This is something that I'm expecting. Where is your head going to be knowing that the person you are the most vulnerable with, the person you love the most in this world, just told you they're considering leaving you, or they'd be okay if you left them? Where would you be in the mindset of sex?
I mean, if I still did it, like if I still gave you or engaged in sexual activity with you, then it's obvious. Maybe it's not obvious, then it would just be getting off.
Mhm.
That's what it would be,
Mhm.
because there's just no commitment there.
No, and from this side of it, from my perspective, being the person coaching people, it's like, I understand why you're not engaging, because if Quincy ever told me that we're on a timeline or that we're going to, see how this works, because we've been fighting a bunch and I keep bringing up the fact that maybe we should just call it quits because you're not seeing it my way. I'm not seeing it your way. Maybe we should just call it quits. If I kept hearing that from you, I mean, some of these guys, I'm going to be honest with you, you're lucky you didn't marry me, because the first response you would have got, I don't care how invested I am, the moment you told me I'm not committed to you, I don't value what we have, I'm out. I'm not even going to try. Especially if you're saying it on a repeated basis, I will pack your shit for you.
Well, here's the challenge, and I'm not talking about. I know you're using some specific examples from Jill's that you coach.
Mhm.
I'm not using a specific example here. This what I'm about to say is cautionary to husband and wife. Maybe you're not saying these things out loud, but if you're bringing that energy to your relationship, then that is the sense of connection that you are pouring in. If you're not in, there is something about us human beings that connects on a soul level,
Mhm.
on a spiritual level. And so you may not be saying that, but your body is emanating that.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's try it this way. If if you're not pouring into my cup, or let's say you are. Let's say you're doing things that you think meet my needs because you think you know what I need. Okay?
Yep.
So we'll flip the script a little bit. Let's say I'm the one going out working and I come home and you're making my dinner because that's what I said makes me feel like I matters. I want my dinner when I come home. This is what I would like to do, is have family dinner, have everybody sitting down. Okay. But when let well, I'll say it's you and I'm doing it. And you come home and your dinner's made, but I just lay it on the table and I wait. You haven't said anything. I haven't got to thank you. Nothing. You just came in and sat down. And now, mind you, we're sitting down with the kids. We're having a conversation. It's family dinner. We're doing great. Everything looks good. But I didn't get the attaboy for it. I didn't get what I needed for it. Am I doing it because I'm doing it to fulfill your need? Or am I doing it because I'm trying to fulfill mine and get you to tell me what I want you to tell me? You get what I'm saying? It's like you're
I'm having I'm trying to follow you there, so you might have to dumb it down for me a little bit.
okay. Let's switch it up a little bit and make it a little different for you and me, because you'll engage more on my end. If my needs are, I need time with you, I need conversation, I need to be removed from things, I need that simple touch on my back when you come home. The things that have become intentional for me,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Okay. If you're doing those things, but the whole time you're doing it, you're not really into it. You're just doing it. Like if we go out to dinner and we're having a conversation and I'm talking and you're taking notes, but really what you're doing is you're taking notes for later so you can come back and be like, well, but you said this. Like you're holding on to conversation rather than just enjoying the time. You're in your head with something else. You're not actually there with me. You're just doing it because I need to go out to dinner and have time. But you're not actively engaged. So what's my quality time?
Yeah, and so I'm just listening to this, and here's what I would say. Does me putting my hand on your back in public to make you feel safe, does that make me feel better? Um, does me coming home and, holding you or putting my hand on the small of your back, like intimate touch, does that make me feel better? Does me sitting and having a conversation with you and quality time, does that matter, or does it make me feel better because it's your love language? What would you say to that?
For you to me,
For does it does all that matter
it
for
matters to
me?
you because it matters to me.
Thank you. This is the truth, and it matters, and it is fulfilling to me. It does matter to me. It does connect with me because I made the commitment, and my desire is to be in service to you and to meet your needs that no one else has the privilege or the honor to
Mhm.
meet. And so as I do these things, it is very fulfilling to me because I want to be in service in our relationship to you.
But now here's the catch that's coming up. If you're doing all of those things and they matter to you because you're doing them, but you still haven't repaired the hurt. You still haven't fixed whatever it was that you did that caused this root for me to be not connecting, not willing to fully meet your need, only meeting a certain percentage. Whatever you're doing for me to meet my need, to be of service to me, it doesn't matter because I'm looking for what are you looking for? What are you doing this for? What do you really want from me? Is it more sex? Yeah, okay, I'll lay there and take it. Is it you want an attaboy? Okay, sure. Thank you. I appreciate it. That was great. Do I mean it? Hell no, I don't mean it. I'm giving you the bare minimum because whatever that hurt is stole the value of whatever else you're giving me because I'm not going to trust it. You told me you're going to leave. You told me you wanted out. You've got all these expectations. You told me you know what I need. You know what I need and how I feel. Clearly, that's not the truth because the things that you're doing don't matter.
It may be the truth as the Jack or the Jill is saying it, but it's inaccurate. And here's the thing that I
No,
would
it's not
say.
because what they need is a freaking apology. They need sincerity. The actions don't count for shit
I agree.
because you haven't fixed the underlying root. If I did something to hurt you and damage not just your trust in me, but your own identity in yourself, you're my husband. I value you above everybody else in this world. I talk highly about you to everybody. Why? Because I believe it.
That's right.
When we were talking the other night and I told you, you're a good dad. And you know how I know that? Not just because I say it. You can ask any one of these kids and listen to their conversations. They tell people about how great their dad is. That is the legacy that you have created. I tell people what a wonderful husband you are. Why? Because I've got freaking receipts. I can prove how you're a great husband to me because you do the things that matter to me. That for me puts value in me. I'm not just your wife. I'm your best friend. I'm the most important person. You can ask these girls. Ask every child in this house. If you were to ask any of my girls, who is dad's number one? Mom. If there is a problem between us, who is dad going to side with? Mom. If there was a problem and we were divided, where is dad's loyalty? Mom. Why? Because you're going to grow up and move on and do your own thing. And me and dad are team mom and dad, period. We're the most important part. We're the foundation of all of it. Now, if I had done something to hurt you and to tell you you're not who I thought you were, you just don't do X, Y, Z. You're just not giving me enough. You're not doing enough, man. You're just, I don't know. I just wonder if maybe we shouldn't go separate ways and see if there's maybe something better out there for us. Where is your value as an individual? Where is your value as my husband? Where is your value when I say, "Hey, you wanna?" Where's the connection at? Because I don't trust it anymore. You just told me I'm a piece of shit. No, I don't want that. That's why we lock our heart up. We lock our mind up. You can have the body. The body's a physical vessel. It doesn't mean nothing. I don't have to look. This is going to be really crude, but everyone can do it themselves if getting off is what you really need.
That's fair.
Mechanics are there.
That's fair. That's
There's a
fair.
way to do it. If that's all you're looking for is a release, there's ways around it. I don't have to have you to do that for me. I want to have you with me when that happens because it's more impactful. It means more to me. It gives me more than just a physical attribute.
Right.
But if I don't trust you, if I don't feel like I'm this wonderful person, and that's the shitty part is hearing all of the like you could tell everybody else in the world how great a wife I am and how much you value me and how good of a mom I am and how great of an author and all these things and pour on the accolades. But if in our home behind closed doors, that's not what I feel because that's not really what you're giving me, you're not meeting my needs. You're meeting yours. You're making me look good to other people, but I don't feel like that at all.
Yeah.
What do we have? Whose need are you really meeting? What intimacy are you expecting? And then on the flip side, there's the, well, if she's not giving me what I need, or if she's not pouring into me, or if she's not doing this, and if she's not doing that, I'm not saying that's not right either. But I am saying somebody has to give.
Mm-hmm.
When we went through this, Rita came straight at me and said, "So is it his responsibility to make you feel good?" That was probably the biggest bomb. And it pisses people off when we coach because I will have Jills come to me and say, "Well, he doesn't make me feel this and he doesn't make me feel that and he doesn't make me feel this." And the first thing I tell him is, "It's not his responsibility to make you happy." And it blows their mind, but it's not. It's not your job to make me feel good in my body. I have to feel good in my own body.
Mhm.
That's my responsibility. Now, your reaction to my body feeds that for me. If you looked at me and went, getting kind of heavy, babe, gaining a little bit of weight, would that help me? Hell no. Would it make me want to be intimate? Not in the slightest. But the fact that you still respond the way you do, even though I put on weight, I don't feel that way about my body when we're together. Those moments are more when I'm getting dressed or I'm trying to do something for myself. That's a me problem. That's not a Quincy problem. But that was the first thing Rita said. She's like, "Well, are you going to wait for him to do things for you?" She goes, "What happens if you do things for him? What happens if you actually meet his need and you meet his need willingly? Not willingly with a grudge, not willingly with an attitude, not willingly because I have to, but willingly because I want to do something for you to make you feel good. I want to pour into you because I want to. What's the reward?" And that's what it came back to is if you're filling your spouse's tank and your spouse slowly starts to spill into yours, eventually there's a give and take, there's an ebb and flow. And it becomes very simply, and it's not just an intentional, it's a habitual. I do things for you because I know these things matter. It's a habit for me now. Then if I miss it and I screw it up and you notice it and it hurts you, I fix it. Why? Because I know that that's intentional and it means something to you. I didn't mean to hurt you and I'm really sorry I forgot. I'll fix it. Let me do this for you. Not because, fine, let me take care of it. Whatever, I got it. Do I have those moments? Yes, I'm human. Are they as often as they used to be? You can answer that question.
They are not.
But it's so different when you realize that my value doesn't come from you. How I feel about myself doesn't come from you. And when I coach with Jills and I start telling them, we're going to focus on you. Whether he comes with you or not is his choice. That's a him decision. When you started losing weight and making changes to get healthy and do better, I wasn't required to jump on the train. That's not my journey. That's your journey. Am I with you? Yeah, I'm with you. But I ain't getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go do burpees and crap with PJ. You're crazy. That's not happening. But I was with you. If you needed to change your diet, if you needed to talk through something, if you hurt yourself, if we had a medical situation, I was right there with you the whole way.
Yeah.
Is it my place to make you feel good about what you're doing? No. But because I knew what your need was, it was my place to encourage you. It was my place to let you know when I noticed that you lost a little bit of weight. I noticed your shirt's fitting a little bit better. Babe, your face looks a little bit thinner today. Those things are my place to say something. But if you're changing, I'm either with you or I'm not. And if I'm not, then that's on me.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with Jill. And I tell him, you do what you need to do to make yourself feel better and to make yourself happy. And if he comes alongside and he rolls with you, great. That's what we're aiming for. If not, you keep moving because he's going to make a choice one way or the other. Either he's going to jump on and he's going to start making changes for himself, or he's going to jump out because he can't handle what you're doing. That's not your choice. And I hate having to put things that way because it sounds like I'm saying leave your husband behind, but that's not what I'm saying at all. If you're really committed to each other, if you're really invested in each other, you come alongside each other. Did I get on the same journey with Quincy with weight loss and getting healthy and all? No, mine started coming later. But it didn't mean that I wasn't interested. It didn't mean that I wasn't an active part. It didn't mean that I didn't pay attention and tell you when I saw things. I didn't just check out. I took a step back. But you didn't push me either and say, well, you have to do this because I'm doing this. Or, you know what? I know what I'm talking about. So you have to do this diet with me because this is how it works and this is what's best for you. You've not done any of that. It's not your place to tell me how to change or what's required of me to change. That's a decision for every individual to make for themselves.
Yeah, and I think too, just talking on that thread, if your spouse trusts you, if your spouse sees the receipts of the change in your life and your spouse trusts you, then he or she will start coming to you to ask about those things or to engage in those things. Now, there's a few things I want to talk about because I just had to shut up and let you talk.
Sorry.
No. Don't apologize. It's like when I'm in front of a customer and I'm there to talk about the value about what we offer. If I interrupt or I try to make it about me, then I totally miss adding the proper value to the customer, because the customer, in my mind, needs to talk about whatever's on his or her mind so that I can understand their needs better.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this case, I was like, I need to just allow you the time, not from a permission standpoint, but from a point of allowing
Coaching.
you to work through and talk to the audience. And I'll start with the first thing that struck a chord in me, and that's about trust, reconciling the past, forgiveness. Okay. And then it was for this, like, actions that one is doing when there has been no reconciliation.
They matter not.
Here, I want to challenge you on that, not to say that you're wrong, but I want to say this. If you begin acting with pure intentions and pure motivation, because you brought it out when Coach Rita said, what if you started to do willingly?
Mm-hmm.
Like, not as a quid pro quo, but just willingly doing. So if you have pure, aligned intentions and motivations within you for what you're doing, that actually softens the defense and will help lead to reconciliation.
But you have to do it without the intent of getting anything back.
That's precisely what that is exactly what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not coming across that way, forgive me. But if your motivation and your intentions are not pure, then you're not doing it because it's the right thing to do.
Now, and I think that's a lot of what we run up against is I'm doing it because I have to do it. Okay, well then you're not doing it right.
And that is it is a heart issue. It is a heart, because I'm telling you, and I said it earlier, Just because you're not saying something with your mouth doesn't mean your energy's not there. Let me give you an example. When people are arguing and you walk into a room, can you feel the atmosphere there? It's
Mm.
like, oh, it's like, what is in here? This sucks. Like you can cut it with a proverbial or a metaphorical
Uh-huh.
butter knife.
You know, the little baby meme, the gif of the little baby runs into the room and turns around and goes, "Whoop, I'm
Yeah,
out."
yeah.
Yeah.
Or when you walk in and people are laughing and there's a lot of joy and there's fun going on, you walk in and you're like, oh, this is awesome. I want to be a part of this energy.
Mhm.
So, listener, husbands, wives, you need to really have a come to Jesus moment about why you're doing what you do. And if you do not, hold on, please.
Yeah, I will.
If you do not, then you're going to continue to deceive yourself that you're doing things for the right reason when you're actually not. Don't do it out of selfish ambition. That's not going to work. It's going to continue the problem. It's actually going to reinforce the negative side of this equation.
Mhm.
Go ahead and say what you want to say. I got one
Well,
more
you
thing to
brought up
cover.
you need to think about why you do what you do. Okay, so here's another side of this that I think we need to address because it comes out often. Well, why should I have to do XYZ? Why do they get all of these things that they need that I have to do? Why am I required to give XYZ? Okay. Example, on our side. When we go to a hockey game, and I've used it as an example 1,000 times, I like to be there an hour early. I like to get there before the crowd gets there. I do not do well in clustered people. I just don't. I know this. Quincy knows this. So when we take other people with us or we're meeting them at the game, we will be there an hour early. That's fine. If you don't want to get there an hour early, that's on you. If you want to get there at the beginning of the game, whatever you want to do, that's fine. We show up an hour early. Why? Because it's what's comfortable for me. Why does Quincy make the adjustment? Because it's what's comfortable for me. Now, if we get there later and it's, 20 minutes the game or whatever, I still have cushion. Does he have to go an hour early? No. Does he absolutely have to do it every single time that way? No. Does he? Yes. Why? You can answer that. Why do you do that for me?
No, because it's a part of my commitment of being in service to you. And it's not like every single thing that happens goes your way. Because if it's just lopsided for one spouse, that's not healthy. It's out of balance. It's very selfish for someone to think that everything's got to be about me. But these are things that we agreed to. I willingly look to meet and nurture your needs as you tell me what your needs are. And one of those is you want and need to feel safe.
Now, when we first started this, though, with Rita, it wasn't just we would just do things differently because it was what made me feel safe. It took a while for Quincy to figure out and ask me, okay, help me understand. Because you said when I put my hand on the small of your back, that makes you feel safe. Why? What does that do for you? And he didn't get mad at me for it. He didn't bitch at me for it. He asked me genuinely, why do you need that? Not because he doesn't want to do it. He needs to understand why I need that.
What's the why behind the need?
And when I explain to him, it grounds me. When you're touching me, that is somebody that I trust that has me. So if I know if we get into a crowd and we need to make a hole, Quincy will move me behind him and he will make a hole. And all I have to do is hold his hand and he will take me wherever I need to go. If he gets behind me and I get scrunched into people, he's got one hand on my hip and another hand on my shoulder and he's moving me. Why? Because I don't like tight spaces. But if it's him holding me, I'm safe. Quincy's not going to let anybody get into my bubble. It's things that I needed that were important to me. And as soon as I explained, this is how I feel. When people I don't know crowd in on me, I can't breathe. I feel suffocated. I can't see the exit. I'm small compared to a lot of other people. It scares me. It makes me uncomfortable. Quincy immediately took the assignment and said, okay, I'm safety. I got it. And we move with it. Now, if it's, you know, making coffee in the morning or making breakfast in the morning, and it's not done a certain way and people get pissed off about it. That's different. You don't have to do those things unless it's something you've agreed upon. But ask why. Why is it important for you that I do this? What is it that you need from this thing that I'm doing for you?
What does it mean to you? Because before, maybe you were anxious and you were like a ball of nerves. And I'm like, gosh, she's a real a-hole.
Yeah, I would snap. I would get pissy. If we were in a crowd, especially with kids, if we were in a crowd and I was uncomfortable, I snap very quickly, very quickly. I still do it. We did it yesterday. When I'm already in an uncomfortable environment. Kirsten was having a moment. She was very loud. She's very aggressive. Somebody else came into the house, very loud, just drawing the attention, and it made Kirsten get louder, and it brought the volume way up. That for me, it gets on my nerves, and it makes me very, very anxious. I need a controlled environment. Kirsten is an uncontrolled variable at all times. So you add another one, I can become an a-hole real fast. Quincy got it yesterday when we were talking. He asked me a question and he was joking and I did not take it as a joke and I snapped and I'm like, you know what? I can't do this right now. And he's like, okay, hold on, wait, time out. What's going on? And I explained, this is going on, this is going on, this is going on. I need 30 minutes to myself. I need to get out of the environment so that I can reset me. Otherwise, I'm going to go in and I'm going to blow up at everybody. He thought it was funny at first because I was losing my crap. But then when he realized, no, she's really anxious about this. Okay, cool. I got the kids. Take your shower, do what you need to do. And it gave me 30 minutes. It seems like it's overreaction, but really it's knowing what my limitation is and being able to tell you, I'm at my limit. I need to do this. And you taking over so that I can have that. It's communication is really all it is.
Yeah. Doesn't mean I'm not going to call her a coward and shame her a little bit.
I'm used to it.
But that's obviously I don't mean it. It's just me trying to bring a little brevity to the situation, which is like, I get it. I understand. I'll take care of it. Stop being a freaking coward. But obviously I don't mean that.
But the point is, I trust him enough to know that when he says that, he's not doing it begrudgingly. He's not doing it and being an a-hole about it. He's doing it because he understands when my anxiety is high, I do not feel safe. I feel out of control and that doesn't work for me. And I trust him enough to say, please do this for me.
Yes. Now, here's another thing. And this show is taking a turn for the better. For the better. I'll still cover a few things. We're going to wrap it up here pretty soon. We're going to give you a few things that you can do. So stay with us. We're going to give you a few things you can do. You talked about, let's say it's a Jill for you. When I talk to Jax, I will say you need to be committed to X, Y, and Z, whether she stays or not. And what is that? And that might sound like we're saying, well, your spouse doesn't matter. That's not what we're saying. It goes along with the hokey thing that you hear people talk about, when you're in the airplane and the cabin pressure drops and the mask comes down. You're always supposed to put the mask on yourself first to ensure that you are healthy enough and you have enough oxygen to help the people around you. It's no difference here. You need to get your house in order. Now, people may be confused or may disagree. And the question I would ask is this. Okay. Who can live your life in responsibility and accountability in connection to God?
You.
That's right. You. Nobody else. Right? Yeah. You have to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
Mm-hmm.
You are accountable for your faith. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how many calories that you ingest on a daily basis count towards my calories?
0
calories, because I have to be responsible for my consumption of calories. So that's faith and food. Those are things that I have to do in order to sustain a healthy life. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How many minutes on the treadmill for you, or how much strength training that you do directly benefits my cardio and my muscle and my health? None. No. And those are practical examples of how you must take care of your house first. Get your house in order. And you have to be willing to do that, whether your spouse is going to make the journey or not. And you have to be willing. You have to be willing to do that in order to get yourself in a place of being healthy mentally, emotionally, physically. And that will help you. That will help you improve your awareness. It will help you improve your ability to be a forgiver and for forgiveness, accepting those things. So it's imperative. And this is our process. It may not work for you. It may not work for everybody, but you have to get your house in order before you're going to be able to reconcile your relationship So you get some principles to begin doing that. And we teach you principles. And then once those principles are out there and you start getting some practice, then there are some things we can do to help you in your relationship. So let me ask these questions because I feel they're important. Why do people control things in general? So, Jeannie,
fear, anxiety, not trusting others to be able to do it the way they would do it. For me, it's always been either out of fear of something going wrong or out of the need to know that it's being done the way I want it.
The reason I ask you is because Coach Rita had to take you to task about being controlling.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right or wrong?
Yeah. Oh, no, she's right. And she scared the hell out of me because she said the thing you fear the most is the thing that you'll bring into your life. The thing that you fear and you concentrate on the most that makes you feel like you absolutely have to control everything is exactly what you will cause to happen. Because you're concentrated on it. You're going to get what you focus on.
You do. You do. And so that leads to the next question as we wrap this up. Why, and you've already answered it, but I'm going to ask you to summarize, not surmise, summarize this. Why does a spouse or why does a wife, because I've never been a woman, I will never be a woman. You've been a woman your whole life. So
Yep.
you are more prepared to answer this than I am. Would you agree with that?
Sure.
Yes, you would. Okay, why does a
Am
wife...
I a woman?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
are you going to ask me what is a woman? That's a great documentary.
Nope, we're not going there.
Documentary. I said it again the wrong way. Why does a wife control the sex life? The when, the where, the time, and the position. Why does that happen in your humble, experienced opinion?
I'm hurt. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I'm in service to you, so I'm only going to give you the bare minimum under my rules. And you haven't fixed anything. Why would I be vulnerable? Why would I give you access? And this is going to be TMI for some people, and that's okay. But let's just be real about it. No one wants to have sex in the same position every single time. You want to do various things. You want to experiment. You want to add toys. You want to do different positions. You want to try different places. Some people want to be in a place where maybe they might get caught. It's the rush, the adrenaline, the effect it has on the couple because it intensifies the connection. Why am I going to give you any of that in my most vulnerable state when I don't trust you on a regular, simple, day-to-day task? No.
The answer is no. It's not going to happen.
Mm-mm.
There won't be any connection. And look, for as much as us guys get the reputation that we just want sex, we want more than that. We want more. Of course, we want sex a lot, often, maybe all the time. But we're chasing not just an orgasm. We're not chasing just getting off. If you are just chasing an orgasm and getting off, then you're broken inside. That's a fact, dude. You can like it or you can leave it. Love it or list it. I don't care. That's a fact because we're all created for that emotional connection. So we want, as men, and we connect through sexual intimacy. That's where we connect. And there are times where, there are those times where Jeannie and I, like we are now, we're doing things because we want it and we are getting things done. We're both achieving, orgasm, but it's not as emotionally connecting. It's not as passionate as we want it to be because we're at a challenging time in our life, schedule wise, adult children wise, etc. Now, every once in a while, we do, for whatever reason, get to weave one of those. Oh my gosh, that was freaking amazing. For some reason, those do get put. They kind of go in there.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, we need the connection. Yes, we want different positions. I know. Well, I've had sex with one woman for over 25 years. So I know she wants other positions than just one position.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a guy who loves routine, and I still want different positions. So we want to do that. We want to connect on that level.
But I trust you not to hurt me. I trust
Correct.
you to know that if we are physically doing something and it causes me pain of any kind, we're going to stop. We're going to switch. If I don't trust you with my emotions, I don't trust you to stop if you're hurting me physically because you're getting what you want.
I've never considered that, but thank you.
It's a huge part mentally that, people joke about safe words and things like that. That's a totally different area of sex life, but the fact of the matter is if I don't feel safe, things don't happen. If I didn't trust you to know when I say, "Babe, my back, I can't. My back is hurting." And for you to and it's not just about whether or not we stop. Because there are some times where maybe he won't stop because he hasn't gotten off yet. Well, okay, well, we'll flip and we'll do something else as long as he still gets off, but she didn't. And she's still in pain. In our relationship, I trust you enough to know that if I say, "I'm in too much pain, dude, I'm sorry. I can't. This is not going to work." You would stop. The end goal isn't to just get off. The end goal is to take care of each other.
Yeah, and that's the part I'm saying that I never considered, which is at the times where you've been in pain. There's been times where I've been in pain.
Mhm.
I've never considered not pumping the brakes.
No, but and that's what I'm saying. Like if you think in our relationship after your knee surgery, I was very aware constantly. Is this going to be okay? Is this going to work? Asking and checking because I don't want to be the cause of what hurts you. It's the same thing. It is the same thing. If I do not trust you to not emotionally tear me up, I am not going to trust you to not physically hurt me. Whether it's intentional or not, I'm not going to trust you to not hurt me.
That's heavy, dude. That's a good word.
Mhm.
That is a good word. That's a good word. Okay, I promised you, or at least I told you I was going to give you some things, some tools to help you to get you on the right path. I think many of them we have said during this process because the conversation, the episode took some different avenues. But ultimately, I'm like, thank God that, thank God we had these talks and we
There's
did
a
go
lot
through
more
this.
involved in your sex life than just sex.
That's right. Number one, the most important thing you can do, the most important thing is to get on the path or get in a place where you can understand the root cause of the issue. What, not symptomatic, not fix things temporarily, but see if you can walk back to the root of the issue.
Which means you might have to go to the past for a little bit. Don't live there, but you might have to visit it.
You are going to have to look back at the past.
Mhm.
You are going to have to revisit the past. And, whether it's about your sex life or it's about your life in general, for 40 years, I believed a lie about my past. And I didn't know until I went back there and discovered it.
Mhm.
It was crazy to me. Me and my cousin Shane would always just joke around with each other. What's going on, man? How are you? Oh, I'm good. But when I was 2 years old, like we would make fun of that. And then I realized that there's so much merit to that. And we still do that to have fun. But the fact is that I was trapped 40 years in the past, and that anchor had me in a place where I couldn't move forward.
Mhm.
It had nothing to do with Jeannie.
No, but I got the byproduct of it.
You got the benefits of the whole thing. So it's about why you do what you do. What is the root cause? Don't just treat the symptom, because if you just treat the symptom, you're going to mask the problem and it's coming back. So if you're making notes or mental notes or notes on your phone, it's imperative that you start with the root. Find the root.
It's so funny. Anytime Rita used to talk about that, and she would say, it could come back. I always thought about Bill saying, and it'll bring 7 friends. If it comes back, it's bringing 7 friends. It always stuck with me.
Well, I'll tell you this: the tree out front, right in front of the house that we cut all the way down to the stump. We didn't kill the stump.
And it came back full force this summer.
It came back with a bigger tree.
Mhm.
It's bigger and better than
There's
it was.
2 of them actually, because there's a second one growing in the middle now. Same tree branch.
Case in point.
Mhm.
It wasn't like that when it was growing on its own. And so we took it down and it's like, okay, maybe I'll go dormant for a while, but now I'm coming back with a vengeance. It's the same here. Get to the root of the issue. Get to the root. Number 2, prepare to reconcile. It's a heart position. It's a heart issue. That's what it is. And in reconciliation, there must be grace. There must be forgiveness.
Has to be patience.
There has to be
There
patience
has to
as
be
well.
patience, because depending on what that is, what that root is, if and I'm just using this as an example, but if there was an infidelity of any kind, if there was a, a major hurt, something that could have really destroyed the identity of your
Mhm.
spouse at some point, or made them feel like they were absolutely worthless, you've got to give them patience. You can't put somebody on a timeline on how long they grieve, or how long they take to heal, or how long it takes for them to process. It's not your call.
I want you to hear this. The true meaning of reconciliation. I haven't vetted this. I just looked it up, so I might have to clean this up later. The process of restoring harmony and friendship between two parties after conflict, argument, or estrangement. It involves a conscious effort to end hostility and move from a state of separation and brokenness to one of understanding, agreement, and renewed unity. I think that is beautifully said.
Mm-hmm.
It is what is required here. Now, because you go back to the past doesn't mean you always bring up the past. You don't resurrect those dead things, but you will have to go and reconcile the past.
Well, yeah, you got to go back with a shovel and dig up the root.
You've got to get rid of the root, and you must reconcile. And look,
But then you got to treat the ground.
here's the thing. Yeah, we'll get into it some other time. Master gardener, gardeness. I don't know what to call a garden.
You can call me goddess. It's okay. I got it. I
Goddess of gardening. Well, you're not goddess status yet, because you're getting better though. But you're not goddess status.
I got you to trip up on your words, though. It was worth it.
It's not hard to do in your world. I've got some other ways you could do that though. Anyway, let's talk about this. When it comes to reconciling, there's no better example for me as a man of faith than to look to the creator of the universe. That is God. And so, what did he withhold in his reconciliation for you and me? The answer, I'll cut to the chase, nothing. But it requires willingness, and it requires a forgiveness and a grace moving forward, and patience on your part. It doesn't mean that you should be walked all over. It doesn't mean that you should be taken advantage of. If you weaponize any of this, you completely miss the heart of the message.
Mm-hmm.
And that is unacceptable for Jax and for Jill's. It is unacceptable. But it's important to give significant amounts of grace as you are working through something brand new. Once you build trust with each other, then you start giving grace when it's not requested, because you know your spouse, you can be confident in. And then when there is a challenge, you can go to your spouse, and with the right intention and a pure motivation, you can ask questions. And then you can believe what comes out of your spouse's mouth, even if it's very challenging for you. And so the last tool that I'd give you is this. You need to understand what your needs are. And I'm talking specifically, well, not just specifically, but for the sake of this content, in sex. Because like we talked about earlier, for Jeannie and I, she needs quality time, and I need that connection, that emotional, sexual connection, physical touch.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I'm doing it my way, it's not going to connect with her. There's the age-old story over the past 15 years that I give most of the time, which is Jeannie needed quality time. That was me getting her out of the house on a date. I did what I thought I did what I would want to do because I thought it would matter to her. So I pick her up, we'll drive to the movie theater, we sit there, we watch a movie, and I think I'm doing the right thing because it's what I want, because I all day talk to people, solve problems, listen to people talk. And so I checked in for a report card. I'm like, progress report. How am I doing? She goes, it's okay. I'm like, what? What do you mean it's okay? She goes, this is what I actually need. This is what I want. I go, crap, that makes perfect sense.
The most important question, what does it look like? Paint me a picture. Everybody has vision boards of some sort, or, things you save on your phone on Pinterest, or Quincy's got his board behind his desk that, the goals that you have, the things that you said. Dude, playbook. Get an idea of what it looks like.
Do not weaponize it against your spouse.
No, look. You can even do that when you're talking about your expectations in sex. What does it look like? Some people say, well, I want to try toys. Okay, cool. Do you have any idea the plethora of things you are going to experiment with or see when you try to find toy?
Well, just know this.
It's scary.
Know this to that point. I'm bringing a Christian organization on that is all about toys.
I understand that, but what I'm saying...
I'm just saying that for knowledge, not for anything else.
What I'm saying, though, is there are so many variations to that statement.
Correct.
What are you looking for? And for some people, if they're just starting out, it's like, okay, you want a vibrator, you want a clit stimulator, you want something that we can both use, you want, it just... The hole that you can go down in looking for those things, don't give me that look. When somebody says, like when Quincy and I first talked about this, it was like, okay, but what does that mean? We had no idea because it wasn't something that we had ever really put a definitive thought into. This time when we first started talking about it, we're like, okay, well, let's look some things up together. It's awkward. It's uncomfortable. It is one of the weirdest conversations, and we laughed our butts off at some of the stuff that we found. But we had to come to an agreement of, what does it look like? What are we looking for? What do we think can make things a little bit more exciting or make things a little bit better for you or a little bit better for me? If you don't know, you're going to go into a store and come out with something, and she's going to look at you and go, you ain't touching me with that.
That's fair. And it's about enhancing the experience. Mm-hmm. It's about creating and enhancing the experience.
But you got to have the trust before you can get there.
You've got to have the trust before you get there. Now, Jeannie made a good point. I want you, the listener, at some point to go and check out Get Your Marriage On. Dan Purcell and his wife have a wonderful, it's a ministry, but it's an outreach to me. Mm-hmm. It's not all Christianese, but it's all about sex and intimacy, and it's about reconciliation of the past. Mm-hmm. And every year for the past, I don't know, umpteen years, not umpteen, but probably
I think like 6 or 7.
4, 5, 6, 7 years, they do like a Sextember, and I'm always a sponsor. I'm always going to be a sponsor. And for the last few years, it's been Romantic Blessings, which is a Christian organization that does tools. They give like toys for sex. I say tools, maybe they are.
It's more than just toys. They have there's books that help you figure out how to talk dirty. There's videos that you can watch. There's the one that Quincy and I recently purchased. They have it's Date Your Spouse is what it's called. It's a bundle. There's classes, and you do it in the privacy of your own home, together, wherever. Yep. Nobody else can see it. You have to have a password to get into it. But it's these little seminars that they give to help enhance your sex life. It helps you. They've got some that are specific to men issues and men's concerns, and some that are specific to the female side of things. There's some that's specific to both of you together, and how to have a conversation about, not feeling comfortable or wanting to try something different, or, getting into why this made me feel uncomfortable, or reconciling a problem that maybe, caused an issue, or maybe you said something stupid. We've done that. I've done that multiple times where we're in the middle of something and I say something stupid and it just shuts the whole thing down. Not on purpose, but they teach you how to fix that.
Yeah.
And come back to be able to go. So instead of just stopping and being like, okay, we're done. I can't do this now. We're done. They give you applicable ways to fix it in the moment, so that you don't lose that connection, and you fix it and you keep going, rather than letting it become a hiccup. But it's been a really interesting group. Dan's been on our show a couple of times. Quincy will have to find the episodes because I don't remember what they were, but he's to me, I don't know. I didn't expect it when I first met him and I first saw him. I was like, whoa, wait, you're a sex coach. And it took me a second, but the more he talked and the more I heard him, I was like, holy crap. He knows his stuff, dude.
He really does.
He knows his stuff, and he's serious about it. They really, truly believe that intimacy is a foundation in the marriage.
Yeah, they are outstanding. And I love having him on the program. We usually have him on a couple times a year. He's an outstanding human being.
Mm-hmm.
He and his wife, I believe they have 6 kids. So already Jeannie and I are a fan because we have 8 kids. But it's Get Your Marriage On. I'll put a link in the show notes so that you can see that. I'll also go and look for our Sexpectation series.
What is the app that we have? The intimacy app.
Yeah, there's the intimacy app.
They have an intimacy app that you can actually link with your spouse, and it has like daily things that you can do, daily questions to provoke conversation. There's little things in there where you can send each other notes privately, and it's not like a text. It will send you a little thing that says you have a message that you find later, and like your spouse can tell you, a random thought that they had in an intimate setting. And it's not like a regular text message where if somebody grabs your phone or looks over your shoulder in your text message, there's a thread. It's more private, I think, than.
Well, everything that you'll need to find, you'll find it at the link to Get Your Marriage On, Dan Purcell. And so I'm very excited for you to go and check that out. While it's a very important and foundational part of mine and Jeannie's relationship, we lead by example through journey. That is what we do. So if you want an expert of experts, Get Your Marriage On is where it's at. They have coaching, they have seminars, they have retreats. They're much further ahead in this game than we are. And Dan is kind enough to come on this program and to help us along. And so I would love for you to go there and begin to consume their material, because it's going to do nothing but enhance your relationship. And as you heard Jeannie say, she bought a series for us called Date Your Spouse, because we have awareness. We are looking to continue our education, not from be a better podcaster standpoint, but from growing our marriage.
Well, and I'm also looking at, we're getting older. What things are we going to need to change getting older? Because I don't want to just stop having sex because we're getting older.
No.
Quincy said no.
Negatory. Especially because I'm getting in the best shape of my life the older I get. So I need to work it. Come on. All right, honey. Your final thoughts, and then we're going to wrap.
Final thoughts. I would say everything that you've said up to this point is the best advice that we can give for now. If you do find yourself stuck or trying to figure out a conversation, how to have the conversation, email Quincy, and we'll both look at it. He'll talk to me about it, and we'll see what we can specifically help with. If anything in this episode was specific to you, or, struck a chord with something that maybe you just want to know an outsider's perspective, we can do a standing outside the frame for you and maybe talk through it.
Yeah. Email Quincy at mvsmpodcast.com. Well, that is all for now. That is my lovely wife, Jeannie Moran. I am Quincy Moran, a.k.a. the Q Dog. And this is Man vs. Marriage, the podcast.